What's up, my fellow cryptopreneurs? I hope all is well for you today in the cryptoverse. My last video, I talked about the likelihood of Bitcoin dropping out of this big parallel channel ascending, and also this big orange ascending wedge. What's going on here, folks? I want to draw your attention over here on the left. We've got this range here, and once again, my magnet is on, and that thing's in the way. Let's get that out of there. Now I can talk. Right there, that orange circle, that's the range we've been in. The yellow line here at 32,378 is the top. There's two white lines, which I call the bottom. One is at 27,850 here on the left. Here, see that wick there in that range. There was a big dump coming down to it. I have that marked with, I'll zoom in on this here in a second. I have that marked with a white line. That white line is at 25,330. That's the range we've been in since the middle of March, right? We're about to come into September here in a couple weeks. So this is very important. I want to show you, I hope you all enjoyed my last video that got hardly any views, where I basically called what was going to happen before it happened. The thing about this, there's so many things to talk about. Let me just say this real quick. The name Elon Musk, right? Whether it's true or not, it's irrelevant, right? I honestly don't think SpaceX or Elon Musk sold any Bitcoin. I made a video a while back just talking about it's going to be some sort of news event that makes Bitcoin pump or dump from that 29,000 level where we were stuck for like 40 days, right? And that's it. I don't know. Here's one from 38 minutes ago. I type Bitcoin news into Google and just check this out like once a day. Elon Musk praises pro-crypto Republican presidential candidate 38 minutes ago. So, and like for the last 24, 48 hours, it's been Elon Musk and SpaceX dump Bitcoin. But did they? I don't know if they did. I don't think they did, right? SpaceX reportedly dumps the cryptocurrency. I don't think they did. I think what happened, now I could be totally wrong. It doesn't, but this is all irrelevant, right? There's certain times of Bitcoin where just any kind of news story will pump or dump it massively, and it's really irritating if you're on the wrong side of it. And this time, fortunately, I was on the right side of it, right? I was in a big short, and that worked out really well for me. But that's irrelevant too. It's so annoying because Bitcoin's awesome. Don't get me wrong, right? If you're out there listening for the first time, Bitcoin by itself seems to be a truly magnificent invention, but all the crap and people around it's no different than anything else of value, right? It's just crap built around it, and it all fades and comes back and goes away, and then there's just Bitcoin, right? Just Bitcoin is still Bitcoin no matter what happens. So let's not go down that rabbit hole. But anyways, it seems to me like SpaceX reported a loss on their taxes. And if you look at these articles, the words don't even make sense. The sentences don't even make grammatical sense, right? They're out of order. And it appears to me, I'm just going out on a limb and say this is a fake story. And I don't know yet because Elon needs to come out and say it. But I'm going to say it's fake based on what I've seen over the last couple of years while I've been watching this. And what it looks like to me is SpaceX took a loss on their Bitcoin, and that's good for them when they do their taxes, and they wrote it off, right? I don't think they sold it. But let's just stop yammering about that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they sold it or bought it. It literally doesn't matter. What matters is this right here. It's a huge dump from 29 down to 24,300 on Femex, 24,500 in a matter of about an hour and a half. And for those of you who watch my videos, you know what I've been saying. And let's just get into it. I don't want to lose the new people. If there are any new people, this right here, when this big green pump happened here from 25,000, now keep 25,000 in mind. I'll eventually yammer my way back to it. I said this was probably going to be a Batman pattern, right? It's going to put in a left ear and then a right ear and then come down. Now, I said that on the hourly chart, and it took a lot longer for that to happen, but there it is. That's it. That just happened, right? So a lot of times my analysis, I don't speak clearly, and it could happen. Like I said, my last video, I said this could happen in 2 days or 2 months, this dump, right? And boom, there it is. It happened in about 2 hours. So this was a dump that was reminded me of the last cycle, the parabolic pump. On the last cycle, there was these massive dumps. And this could, if you're wanting to know what might happen the next day, 2 or 3 days, this very well could have more to it. This is looking a lot like there's going to be another big red one. Boom. It looks a lot like it. Now that 25,000 level is extremely important. On my chart here, I have this range back here. I'll get to my point eventually if you bear with me. I don't edit my videos a whole lot. I don't have a text. I don't have a script. I just turn it on and start talking. So I hope you can appreciate that. This range here, this white line, this wick here is at 25,330. This yellow line here is at 25,181. That is the top of the range below it. You see how that's working here? It's also a resistance here, and it's support here. This is a very important line. On my chart, on FEMEX, it's 25,330. That'll be a little different from site to site, platform to platform, exchange to exchange. If 25,330 breaks, then it's probably coming down lower. And I don't know for sure where this will stop if it continues. But like I said in my last video before this happened, the target for this big blue ascending channel you going up here is 6,300. And it happened to break out. I'm going to get to this here in a second. It happened to break out at 27,850. So let's just take the little measure tool here and let's go down from that point, and 6,300 target. It doesn't have to hit the target. But if it did hit the target, that target would be right in the ballpark of 21,500. And I look to the left, 21,500, 600, 700, that area. I look to the left, and I've said this in a few videos now, and I was just kind of speculating back then, but I'm still speculating now. But if you look back to the left, that dotted line, look at the support here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. That could be a real line, but let's just not talk about that. The important one here is 25,330, in my opinion. That's a range. If we break under it, it's going to be hard to get back above. And the problem is we've got these lawsuits against Binance and CZ, the founder of Binance. And I don't know the situation. I don't have any details, but it does look like there's something was going on that was not right there. And it's always looked to me like there's been way too much Bitcoin being traded that should have been available to people. Now, I don't know if that's true because I don't know and I don't care. It just feels like that. But he's getting sued, right? And the Department of Justice is looking at charging him with criminal crimes. So there might be something there to that. That this could get a lot worse if it comes down. Right, just call it 22,000 to 20,000, which would be say in this ballpark here, would be the target for that big blue ascending parallel channel. If it came down to there, just from what I've seen over the last, since I've been watching this, it probably would have a strong chance from there to just go ahead and come down, right? To because then we'd be in this next range here. I just want to show you this. This range here would be the next one down, and that's just kind of how Bitcoin works. And that range would be between 25,181 and 17,564. down here on the bottom. And if it came to the bottom of 17,564, it might just go ahead and just take a wick down there, maybe go down below it, which would be right there, 15,600, which would be a double bottom on the grand scheme. If those of you that routinely watch my channel, if you're out there watching, a long time ago, I was saying that people were saying a double bottom. It was not a double bottom on the macro scale. This would be a true double bottom if it did that. Boom, right? If folks, if you see it come down here, that's where you want to buy heavily. Now, don't risk too much money than you can afford to lose, because an asteroid strikes our atmosphere and Bitcoin goes to zero. In the traditional sense of markets, if you see Bitcoin come down to 20,000 again, then you need to buy, because the next real bull market will begin, and that will probably go to about 139,000 is what I'm calling, and that should be anywhere probably from 12 to 18 months from now that will occur. This was a giant bearish structure. If you haven't heard that yet, if no one told you that yet, regardless of news and regardless of blah, 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 on the charts, technical analysis, look at this giant orange ascending wedge and this giant blue parallel channel ascending. Those are massive bearish structures. It's extremely bullish while they happen, but it's too much, right? That kind of trajectory straight up. I mean, it's not straight up, but you can see, right, in the grand scheme of things, that's a lot to do in a bear market. And on a side note, when we get to the real bull market and this starts that big parabolic pump, when it starts this, I draw straight lines, but it's not going to be a straight line. It's going to go like this. It's going to go boom, and it's going to come back and go way up here, and it's going to go boom. Right? There's going to be these massive. This is where I can help you. So if you watch my videos, I've made mistakes here and there, but I think also you can kind of get the sense that I'm really getting this down pretty good. Just for transparency, I closed my short down. I'll show you the wick where I closed my short down. But let me just show you the next bull run. It's gonna go, and then it's gonna go way up here like this, and it's gonna go boom. And it's about every month. For about every month there'll be one, right? And it's these blue vertical lines over here. Last Friday every month, I'm charting that. I'm keeping that to see if a pattern develops. So far, there's really not a pattern to talk about, although it is definitely dumping away from this one. And there should be a pump coming shortly. But the next parabolic pump, the next bull market, right, it's going to go like this. Right, it's going to go. It's going to go from like 42,000 at some point. And it's going to go way up here, say 90,000. And when it hits, this is just, don't listen to the exact numbers, but just for an example, say it hits 90,000, it's going to go boom. Right, it's going to come all the way back down here to like 50,000 or 45,000. Right, 50% dump in your face, right? That's how this is going to work, right? And it's just going to keep doing that, for lack of a better saying. Just it's basically going to be a monthly thing, and it's going to go boom up to 120, and then it's going to go boom back down to like 70 or 60, right? And it's going to go up to like 140 and 139, boom, and then boom, right? So that's how this is going to work. Let me reset this chart. And I'm sorry for just turning the recorder on and talking, but I hope you enjoy it. For those of you watching, right there's the Batman. I was saying when this pump happened here, I was saying this is all going to come back out, right? Boom, there it is. Look at that. The pump started here at 24,800. Where did the dump start on Femex? Stop on Femex? 24,500. Can you see that? Can you see that structure? Look at that. Boom, that's so common. From the 5-minute chart to the daily chart, weekly chart, any chart you want to look at, that's a fractal on the Bitcoin market. It's just going to keep happening over and over. It doesn't always happen, but like just for an example, here's one here. See this over here on the left? See that? Boom, there's one. Boom, see that? Boom. And when they happen, I can just it's almost just like I don't know. Like when I was a kid, I played Galaga, and I didn't understand when I first started playing Galaga in the convenience store that every now and then one of the Space Invader guys would come down at a different trajectory than the others, and somehow I just knew to go over and get in his raid and let him take my ship and then get my ship back and have double ship if you played Galaga. Right, and then later on, a couple of weeks later, I realized, oh, that guy's coming down at a different angle, and the guys that look like him are spinning around and taking different angles. So it's kind of like that. And maybe at some point I can put it into a context where I can say, hey, this is why, and just blah, 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 blah. But anyways, yeah, that's it, man. So this week here on the daily chart, actually, let's go to the hourly chart. This video, I wanted to make like a 3 or 4 minute video, but there's just too much to talk about, right? And let's draw a line there for no reason. And I don't want to edit this video a lot because it's late. And but there it is. Try to get rid of that scribble. Boom. This is the hourly chart. Boom. Look at that. So I had a short that I was stuck in for a long time, and I had orders set to get out of that short from 26,000 down to like 22. I altered it from my last video. It was like 26 to like 24, 23 something. And they all filled. I got out of it, right? I got in this wick right here. Boom. While I was sleeping, right? I had them sit, and while I was sleeping, that happened. It went down far enough. It didn't close them all out. I had one more order. This is just transparency, and I'm not like bragging or anything because I just want to, I just want to say what I'm doing because I'm pretty sure there's people on YouTube making videos about Bitcoin that are probably losing a lot of money, and they're for a living. What they're really doing is making YouTube videos. So I'm not saying that for sure. That's a possibility because my analysis has been really good, and I've made a couple mistakes, and I'm about even, to be honest with you. But I did good on this one, and I've come close, right? In a few years, I've got into the stock market and this crypto stuff. I just a couple different decisions that I would have done differently. I could basically be a multimillionaire right now from 10 grand or so, a few $1,000s. I sniffed it, right? I've sniffed it, so I know it's there, and I know what this will end up being for me. I just want to tell you that because I think there's not very many people that watch my videos because I don't make videos a whole lot, but I think that for those of you that actually watch and listen to what I'm saying, I think you can see that I'm there, right? I'm there. Now, the recent mistakes and lessons I've learned are as soon as I start thinking I'm the cat's meow, right? Like playing pool or billiards. When you play pool, you don't understand the game of pool, billiards. It's all about the white ball, right? And you control it with your stick. And it's all about putting the white cue ball wherever you want on the table, right? It has really nothing to do with the other balls on the table. It's all about controlling the cue ball and putting it where you want after your shot, right? With English and control. You control the cue ball. You put it where you want. You control the game. That's how I start feeling on this Bitcoin stuff, on this chart. I get so dialed in, and I get such a command of this is what's going to happen, right? That as soon as I think, I'm the cat's meow, these are the last couple lessons I learned that I didn't realize I had to learn this lesson, but apparently I've learned it, and hopefully I can remember this, is that just be disciplined, right? And set stop loss orders and take profit orders. Just set them while you're sleeping. Just have them there. Just don't be scared to take a small loss or take a small profit if you're not sure what's going to happen. But like I get stuck, right? I know what's going to happen, right? So I won't use a stop loss. I'm not going to take this a small loss here. So I'll watch, instead of just taking a small loss and getting out and waiting for it to come up here where I know I should short without a doubt. And I did short as much as I could up here. Up here, this is where I should have shorted. I was shorting through here, and I started taking a small loss, and no, I'm the cat's meow. I'm not taking a small loss. Well, it's a medium loss. Now I'm the catch. I know what's happening. Boom, right? And then I get stuck. That's where I got stuck, right? If I had just taken a small loss and watched it go up, then I would have shorted heavy up here where it would have been perfect, where I knew at that time it was perfect, right? And called the Batman. It's not a Batman, but it's that structure. Boom, boom. And so, long story short, why is that relevant? What I'm doing now, right? I'm out. I've got some small, tiny, well, not tiny. I've got some small, long positions open where I was hedging in case it went up to like 34 or 36. Right, and I got in trouble with that short where I was hedging, and I could have taken a profit on those longs and not made it too bad. But anyways, just forget about that. Why that's important now is so I'm out now, right? And I don't know. I have a hunch this is going to break down through 25,000 and come down to the next range for a while. I just think that's going to happen, but I don't know, right? I don't know, and I'd like to re-enter a short now, but I don't know for sure because it's kind of I just don't have an opinion, right? Um, One interesting thing I want to talk about, that white line at 27,850 from this range back here that I've talked about for a long time, it became real relevant through here. This is where I first noticed it, right? It was just right on it, up and down, up and down. It was like a magnet. It just kept coming back to it. This is the daily chart. If you go down like to the hourly, you'll really see a lot of interaction with it, right? But support, resistance, right? And then this orange ascending wedge and the blue ascending parallel channel. I want to show you folks where this broke. I had been saying the 28,000 level kind of felt good to me, where this might first come down to the bottom of the blue channel again. And we've got this little descending blue channel in here too. And I didn't know, maybe it pumped out of there again for a little pump before it came back down. But I want to show you this, folks. Look at this. Look at the intersection of the white line right there. Let me circle this right here. Look at that, folks. This sometimes Bitcoin just amazes me, right? You think of all the ways you can make money in this world, and then to think you can just turn your computer on and just kind of draw geometrical patterns on your screen, and Bitcoin will follow it, because I don't know why for sure, and I don't want to get into that because it might hurt my brain. But I don't know if it's been like this since the beginning. The Japanese rice charts back in the 1800s. I don't know if it was like that back then, or if these computers have like made it even more so like that. But look at that, 27,850. The white horizontal line. Look at the orange / blue line here, the bottom of the parallel channel, the bottom of the wedge here, exactly 27,850, right? This, let me zoom out here. Let me show you. Look at that, where I just drew that heavy circle. Look where that occurred. Look where that occurred, right? The bottom. This is kind of it's kind of the bottom of that true range. The other white line down here at 25,330 is the wick from the massive dump down to it, and then it rebounded back up. And this is basically the real range, right? 27,850. Boom, right there. And then this big ascending parallel channel shows up, and a big ascending wedge, both huge bearish patterns. And look where that broke out. Look where it broke out of that channel and that wedge. Right there. Right there. Right there. On the dot. Now this is Femex, so the numbers could be different site to site. But look at that. Let me zoom in super close. Look at that. Look at that, folks. Look at that. Now I could draw these lines in just microscopic different places, and I could put it perfectly for you, right? But that's where I had them. That's literally where I had. I mean, I could change it right now and say, "Oh, exactly, blah 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 blah." It's 10 cents further this way. But look at that. Look at that. So yeah, right. My kitty wants to start meowing, but yeah, I just need to be more disciplined, and I'm pretty sure I'm there. And I hope you enjoy my videos. And this might have been a little discombobulated, but there's a lot of things I want to talk about here. Here's one that I didn't talk about. Bitcoin halving, 242 days tentatively scheduled for April 17th. It's getting closer and closer. And Bitcoin news on Google once a day is what I need to look at. And watch out for the name Elon Musk, whether it has anything to do with what he says or does. Just that name alone can dump or pump this market. So be careful of that. And watch out for the Binance, CZ Binance. Watch out for that. That could get a lot worse. And the thing about that is if it gets worse, Bitcoin will crash. But it could probably ignite a global panic and bank runs. And if that happens, then Bitcoin will go on a parabolic pump and into the next bull run. So we'll just see how it goes from here. But for now, if you're watching a lot of super hype channels from people that bought Bitcoin a long time ago, and all they want to do is basically tell you Bitcoin's awesome and it's go up and just keep buying and buying and buying. Well, that's good. If you want to just buy and hold forever, that's a wonderful strategy. Even dollar cost averaging, if you want to buy whatever such and such amount every day, it's a beautiful strategy. It'll work well for you. But I do want to talk about reality on this channel, and this could be the double bottom that I talked about for a while. We could be looking at a double bottom. If you see Bitcoin come back down to 20 grand, jump on it, buy it. If it goes below 20 grand, jump on it again, buy some more. That's what I'm doing. That's my strategy now. Is I've had my fill of shorting Bitcoin for now, because if a run on banks happens, if some bad thing in the traditional markets happens, then Bitcoin will skyrocket. So I don't want to be on the wrong side of that. And we are getting close to the halving. And well, in a macro sense, on a big scale, we're getting close to the halving, and I don't know if it's coming down further. The $25,000 level is something to watch. Maybe it never comes below 25,000 again. Just wick below it now. It does look like it's going to come below it. It does look like it's coming down the next range, but maybe it doesn't. I'm just watching and I'm waiting. Like I said back here, when I got in my short position and I was too stubborn to take a small loss, right? Because I know what's going to happen. It's not going up, and then it went way up. And then when it went way up, I knew it was time to short. So I'm waiting now, right? I'll nibble. Just say I buy $5 or $10 a day. I'm not. That's not how I'm doing it, but I'm just nibbling here and there, and I'll nibble for now. And if it comes down here, that's when I'll get the long. That's when I'll really go for the buy. Right, really get in down here, but it's the opposite, right? Let me zoom back in. Where I was short in here and too stubborn to take a small loss and just get out and sit in cash and wait and see what happens. That's if I just waited, and when I saw it come up here, then I really would have made a ton of money if I just would have been a little more patient and not listen to my cat meow, right? It seems like it's a lesson that I need to learn. I didn't know I need to learn it. Now, hopefully I don't do that again, but it's the opposite now, right? Right now, I'd like to short or maybe long. I don't know for sure, but I'm just going to wait. I have a hunch it's coming down. I have a hunch it'll hit the target. I have a hunch it's coming to 22,000. So basically, I guess I'm waiting. If it comes down here, I'm going to long. And I'm going to get in the long position for the next 12 months I'm just going to continue along and along and along and along. Maybe I short here on a different account and do this and that. But that's my plan, right? I don't. Let's in a nutshell. How do I describe it in a nutshell? I don't know for sure what's going to happen from this level right here, right now. From what I've seen in the past, it does look like it's going to take another leg down, say $3,000, but it might not, because that 25,000 level might be protected pretty strongly. So I don't know. So I'm going to wait. And I'm undecided. There's part of me just, I think it's coming down lower, so I'm waiting. And if I'm wrong, oh well. I can still long off 25,000. Nibble. But anyways, I think you got the gist. All right, later. Hope you like it.